All right, aloha and welcome, Miho, to the Sasaga podcast. So could you tell us a little bit about who you are and how
Sure
you
thing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Helen. Aloha. I am so happy to be here, and then I am really happy to share my experiences and then talk with Helen today. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And my name is Miho Kawanoe Shinohara. The Kawanoe is the Hawaiian name, and I am Hula instructor and also the web developer. So the background, it's kind of like a long stories, but my major things I took in the university was a performing arts, and I fell in love with hula. So since then, I am dancing hula for a long time.
Wow, so right from your from university days, that's when you started the whole hula journey?
So I believe that was how it started, but at the university, I was dancing modern, ballet, contemporary, and hip hop. Those were my major, and then also my major was opera singing too. So
Wow.
I sing opera.
Oh my goodness, this is fantastic. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'd love to get into more of the of your background and more about hula afterwards as well. Let's start off with your word of the year.
Sure thing. So my word of the year. So in the beginning of this year, my word of the year was progress.
Okay. And this is 2020. For anyone listening to this in the future, it's 2020. It's pandemic year.
I know, that's why. So like it started, and then I thought about, okay, that this is like January 1st, and my word of the year is progress. I need to progress more. So keep going. That was my year of the word. But this pandemic happened. It's completely changed.
Yes.
So I had to change my word of the year. So now it is patience.
Oh,
Completely opposite.
Right. Well, you can still make progress and be patient about how you're making the progress, right? So it still works.
That's true.
Okay. So going back then to, you've talked about, you said a little bit about you started your at university, and then you went on to work in Tokyo, was it?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so at the university, I was doing performing arts, and during these curriculums, they allows us to work as a dancer.
Mm.
So I was working for a company, and I was a backup dancer on that time. However, during I am having the rehearsal, so maybe like I was working as a backup dancer for 3 years, and during the rehearsal, I broke my backbone.
Wow.
Yeah. So
how did you break your backbone? Is this hip hop? Was this the hip hop part of it?
It is. It is.
Is it really? Oh my goodness! You can break your backbone doing hip hop.
Yeah, that was like a fracture of my bones, but that was like during the rehearsal, and then I was thinking, oh, I just hurt my back. That's
Right.
what I thought, but it was pain a lot, so I had to go to the hospital and told my doctor, like during a rehearsal, I fell and I got the fracture. I think I got the fracture or something, and the doctor said, no, you completely broke the backbone. So
Okay, and what happened after that?
yeah, so that was that things like I had to go back to Tokyo or go back to Japan itself for insurance coverage, and then completely healing my backbones. So that's the time like I quit my university and went back to Tokyo and start working and start healing at the same time.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So and then you started your corporate career, which went on for how long were you in the corporate world?
I think from the Tokyo, that was like 2004, and I was working in Hawaii that maybe like total 13 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So corporate world in Tokyo and then also corporate world in Hawaii?
In Hawaii, yes.
And what were you doing there?
Yeah, in Tokyo, I was working as kind of like a translator and then also advertisement world. So I was helping that customers to have like better advertisement. And I was the one who was planning that advertisement and then also calculating their record of all that advertisement. So I was giving them like all the CEO and CSO kind of things. And those are the things I was giving them advice of it. And over there, I learned how to do HTML. So that is a web coding kind of thing. And also the graphic design. So after that, I shifted my career to a web developer. And then that's how I started my career in Hawaii.
Okay, so in your career in Hawaii, you were in the corporate world there doing web development, and is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So so it sounds like you've been doing new things in the corporate world and throughout your career. Very often when we're doing new things, we have those moments of lacking confidence. Can you share with us a story from your career or from your background where you started off with a lack of confidence?
Sure thing. It's like I definitely are always jumping onto the new world, and the beginning I always don't have that confidence. Right. So I have that one example of last year. It was like completely new things for me, which is doing MC in English.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that was like my auntie decided to do handbell charity concert in Hawaii.
Handbells, so like
yes,
ringing.
Ringing
For those of you who are listening to the podcast episode, on the video version, I'm waving my hands around, doing the handbell. Okay.
Yeah, so she is one of that person who started the handbell as a group in Japan, and she was goes all over in Japan and then teaching a student how to do a handbell in a group. So she goes to all the school, like elementary school, junior high, high school, and then like how they do handbell preparatory or something like that. And then also she teaches to the teacher of the handbells how to teach. Yeah, so she has like many of the gold prizes of the handbell groups, and then also as a solo too, she has the gold medals and everything in Japan. Wow. So she's kind of famous in Japan too.
Okay.
Yeah, so some of the Buddhism Association in Hawaii asked her to come over to do a charity concert, which is for a Tohoku earthquake and the tsunami disaster. Yeah, so she decided to, well, she's like me, always like in the progress in the first tempo. Yeah, so she decided like, okay, I'm just gonna jump on to this idea and I'm going to Hawaii. So she called me and says like, okay, so Miho, I'm going to Hawaii and I need your help. So first idea she said was she is going to do all the MC in Japanese by herself. So I'm gonna be her translator. Yeah, so I agreed for the idea and I went to Hawaii maybe 2 days before that concert starting. So the concert was like 7 stages total and took like 3 days, something like that. And 1 day before the concert, my auntie said, so Miho, I want you to concentrate for my performance. So I would like you to do all the MC by yourself.
Wow.
Yeah, so I have like no idea what she's doing and what is about the handbells, and I had like no idea of it. So at the night, I went back to my home and like I wrote all the script of what to say and how to introduce them. And the first stage was at the public school in Hawaii. And all the kids were in front of us, and then it was like total like 700 students.
Wow.
Yeah, and I had to get the attention from all the students.
That's a challenge.
It is a challenge. And again, I still had like a script on my hands and then looking at my script and then saying something. Totally wasn't confident at all, and I was so nervous of it.
Right.
Yeah, my hand was so cold. My face was pale, but somehow I could do it. Like I could manage it.
Right. So this is interesting because, like you said, it sounds like you and did you say it was your aunt?
Yes, that was my aunt.
Yeah. So you and your aunt, it seems like you both have this attitude of kind of like just go and do things, and even if you don't know that you can really definitely do it, you just go anyway. Would you say that's correct?
Yes, it is.
So yeah. So a lot of people might say you're very lucky to be able to do that, and I'm guessing that quite a few of our listeners who feel more hesitant to do new things, they're a little bit scared to step out of the comfort zone. What can you say to them if they're feeling hesitant like that?
I would like to say, like when you're feeling the hesitation, I would say just jump in and enjoy.
Enjoy.
Yep. So I would say that if that's your first time, even you make a mistake, nobody will say, well, that was like really bad.
Right.
And nobody will say like that is your fault.
Right. Yeah.
It should be fine. Just enjoy it. And if you are enjoying it, people will feel that. And they will have fun with you. So I think that's the key.
I love that. Yeah. About just going and doing it anyway and focusing on the fun side instead of the fear side of
yes.
Things. You know, it makes me think as well, you know, presentation skills. And I remember one situation where it was a woman who was presenting, and she was so incredibly nervous, and it actually made everybody in the audience feel uncomfortable too. Mm-hmm. And whereas if you just sort of go in, and even though you're not sure you're going to be able to do it well, but you have fun with it, then people kind of they get that feeling as well, and they have fun with it too. So yeah, that your attitude impacts other people, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
That is so wonderful. Okay, I hope our listeners and those watching are taking note. If you're the sort of person who's been a little bit hesitant, go and have a go and see what happens. Okay, so what would you say in your experience has been, I don't know, I'm kind of putting you on the spot a little bit here, the biggest surprise that you've had where you thought you couldn't do something and then you were able to do it?
Yeah, so that was exactly the moment I had. I wasn't confident at all, but I wasn't hesitate to share myself to the people. So I would show, and I would say to the audiences, I say it's like, I had no idea about the handbell till last night. And now I am introducing the handbell to you, and I am enjoying the handbell as much as you are enjoying, and something like that.
Oh, I love that. So it's about being really open as well.
Mm-hmm.
So focusing on the enjoyment and just being open about it, because a lot of people might kind of cover it up, or might want to look as if they're the expert, and then actually you don't need to be.
Yeah, I don't need to cover up myself. I just need to show myself and open myself to the people, and then people can feel what I feel. So I think that's the ideas.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love that. Okay, so tell us more about your Hula. I don't know if obsession is the right word, or your passion for Hula, and share a little bit of that with our listeners and viewers.
Yes, so my Hula career started after the Tokyo, and the Tokyo, I was working as crazy, and when I started something new, I always want to learn everything. So that's how I started, like the website development world. Mm-hmm. And by doing it, I was feeling is something is missing in my bodies. And I was like, I'm missing my dance careers. The whole life of my career, I was like dancing, and now I completely stopped dancing. But what is it? I need my dance. And my sister, the middle sister, she gave me one DVD, and it says like, have you ever seen Hula? And I said like, oh, that's a slow number song, which is a grandma dance, right? Yeah, and then my sister says, oh, if you think like that, just watch this DVD. And that DVD was that the biggest hula competition in Hawaii, which is called Merry Monarch. And I never knew there is two type of the hula, and which is like one is awana and one is the kahiko. One is traditional, one is modern.
Okay.
Yeah, and I watched that a DVD, and in that DVD has like different part of it, and one is for contemporary, the modern hula, and one is for a traditional kahiko numbers. And I completely fell in love with the kahiko, the traditional hula. Yeah, so all my images was a grandma dancing like really softly, slow tempo, but that contemporary also has more energy, and then the younger generation are dancing with the passions. Yeah, so I fell in love with the beat and sound and dance and everything.
Wow. So you had it was the grandma dance impression, but you said it was the traditional form of hula that you were most attracted to when you saw the DVD. Is that right?
Yes.
So what was different then about it, like from your image?
So the traditional hula had more of the only a drum or something you can tap on, which is called as like ipuheke, and then that beat is that only music they have. And other than that, it's just a chanting, so that human beings are singing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I felt the more power in it.
Right.
Yeah, it's something connecting with that earth or the ground or the nature or something like that. So in my dance career, I never had that experiences, like feels the energy of it.
Right.
Yeah, so modern dance is beautiful, and some of them has like a historical aspect of it, and that was also attractive too, but I was more passionate for a traditional hula.
I love that. And so as you started to practice hula and now, what difference has that made on you to be able to have that kind of exercise or that hobby or that fun as part of your life?
Yes, so the hula wasn't only a dance, so that attracted me. And if that's only a dance thing, I used to be a dancer, so my body can move and I can do whatever. So my interest would be finished in a short time. That's what I think. But hula wasn't only a dance, and then it has Hawaiian philosophy and history, and all that other background information is more important than dance. So that was the things like kept me in the hula world. And there is so many of the things it's still not clear. It's because Hawaiian people never had written character.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so after the missionary came over, they taught them the alphabet. So that's the time they finally start writing. Yeah, so before that time, we only have like a limited information, and then we still have to guess what happened on that time, how the things were going on that time. Yeah, so those things is like more like a study and most of the time I'm sitting in front of my PC and then searching and then researching. So those things are more fun for me.
Ah, okay. That's great. What would you say to women or men who are listening and they're busy with work, they've got so much going on, and they maybe forget to have time to do things that they're interested in, like you said, in terms of the research, for example, or even the actual just moving your body and neglecting that kind of self-care? What would you say to those women or men?
Yeah, so for those people who is stuck in one thing and then they think it's too busy to do something else, I would suggest the way you taught me. So, do you remember? So I learned it from you.
Great. Please share.
Yeah, so I always have my note, which is like this. For the people who's watching the YouTube, you can see like this. So I have a note. It says goal getter. And every day I have a top 3 tasks to do.
Brilliant.
And that. So for example, my top 3 tasks is sending out the packages and ask my accountant about the informations and podcast recording. So those are the top 3 I should do today.
Brilliant. I love it. I love it. And just in case people are wondering, like, where is this coming from? So just to give you a little bit of the backstory. So Miho was, initially she was our guest on the Sasago online retreat as one of our guest speakers. And of course she was teaching Hula there, and the recording's available for that too. So I'll be linking to that in the show notes. And then after that, Miho also joined one of my pop-up trainings, the How to Feel Confident, Be Productive, and Get the Results You Want in Life. And this is a technique that she learned there in terms of the productivity side. So it's so great for me that you're actually sharing right now what you learned in that, that quick training, and you're using it on a regular basis. I love that.
It is totally like mind-opening for me, because everything I was doing, like I have like so much things to do every day. Yeah, doing the Hula and teaching Hula and then researching about the Hula, and then on top of it I have a web development, I have to cook for my husband, I have to spend the time with my dogs, I have to read the books and something like that. It's overwhelms. Yeah, and then every day I just keep saying I'm busy. Yeah, like my husband are a little angry, and he says like, when you can have a time for me.
Right.
Yeah, and I start doing this process like every day, wake up and then think about top 3 tasks to do, and then write it down and then concentrate for it. And that changed my life. Now I can have a time to spend with my dogs, spend with my husband, spend with my friends. And then there is a time like I can just like, dance with my friends. It's so great.
It's so wonderful. And the thing is, it's so simple. It's just so incredibly simple. This is what I love, to be able to share, really simple, practical techniques that make a difference. It was wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing.
No, thank you.
Well, on that positive note, it's time to be wrapping up this episode, so that we can make sure that we get our other priorities dealt with today. So what else would you like to share with our listeners and viewers today, Miho?
Well, I would say if you are having like really busy days or the stressful because of this coronavirus kind of simulation, I would say just concentrate to be happy for yourself. Yeah, just enjoy your life, and then enjoy the time with your partner, enjoy the time with your pets, enjoy the time with your friends, and concentrate for yourself to make yourself happy.
Yeah, focus on what you can be happy about. Exactly. I love that.
Yes.
Wonderful. And we'll be linking in the show notes so that everyone can learn more about you. And you have online Hula lessons, right?
Yes, I do.
That's great.
Yeah.
We'll be linking to that too, so that So anyone listening or watching, if you want to do a little bit of hula yourself, and I definitely recommend it. We did in the Sasaga online retreat. It was so much fun, and it's something that you can do in your own home. You can do anywhere. So I definitely recommend that. Thank you so much, Miho. It's been such a pleasure chatting with you and getting to know you more. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. It was such a fun time with you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.